Learning a new language can be daunting. That doesn't seem reasonable though. We learned our first language just fine, and we were babies at the time. So what's the big deal? The big deal is we no longer have the brain of a baby. Young children use two different parts of the brain, the linguistic centers and the deep motor area, which controls unconscious actions. This combination makes language acquisition remarkably easy. But this streamlined process is no longer available to us as we mature because the deep motor area part of the brain stops growing rapidly after age 11. Our brains become more and more analytical and require logical building blocks to grasp new concepts. And still, when faced with this logically thinking brain, today's approach to teaching a new language ignores that need for building blocks and logic and attempts to teach as if we're still children. It doesn't work. Language teaching has been trying to ignore the elephant in the room for decades with methods such as the indirect grammar approach, whereby we learn to speak and understand and assume the grammar will just happen. It doesn't. And further, this approach turns the natural building block learning patterns in our brains into memorization machines, and we forget. Enter Grammar Snaps for learning Italian. Grammar Snaps has harnessed the proven power of color-aided learning and created a method for understanding Italian grammar that is seamless, easy, and remarkably effective. Grammar Snaps works inside of whatever method you're using to learn or teach Italian and starts forming the building blocks of pronunciation and grammar that are crucial for you to truly grasp and master the language. Think of it like this. If you didn't know how to play chess, you could either memorize every possible imaginable move, or you could learn how each chess piece works and make your own moves. Which sounds easier? Which sounds more effective? Grammar Snaps has taken the Italian alphabet and color-coded it in such a way that children can learn it in an hour or less, which makes pronunciation a snap, which means speaking words correctly is a snap because you understand why it is said that way. It's not just memorized.
Learn the Italian alphabet really quickly because you told us about the color coding and the different colors mean different sounds and how the different letters are pronounced.
Grammar Snaps has taken the nouns, which in Italian control everything before and after in a sentence, and color-coded them into masculine, feminine, singular, and plural. Logically, to complete the picture, Grammar Snaps has color-coded the verbs in the same way. So now, as you learn them, you will see the patterns in a snap.
I've studied languages for a long time, and I've tried a lot of different ways to try to remember the grammar and the pronunciation, but what works about the Grammar Snaps is that they're visual, and I have a very visual memory, so I remember the colors and I see the patterns right away. If you can't remember something, instead of taking out the rule book, you can just look at the chart and right away you can be reminded. So that's why I like it too. I like to put it next to my book when I'm reading so that I can quickly look at it for reference.
And it all works because it uses the natural pattern of the brain, progressive building blocks and logic, one level on top of the one before it, and so on and so on. If you're thrown into the deep end of the pool, you'll hopefully survive, but it doesn't teach you the proper way to swim. Grammar Snaps teaches you the proper way to learn Italian.
I've tried, I've learned Italian, well, in school obviously with, the books and the memorization, which is great. You learn a lot of vocabulary that way, but they don't teach you the grammar rules the way these charts teach you the grammar rules. And if you don't know the grammar, you can't say anything that you haven't already learned to say. Once you learn the rules, you can apply them to say virtually anything.
As a teacher, Grammar Snaps gives you the tools to teach more effectively, and because it fits seamlessly into every teaching method, it can be started at any time during the curriculum. Teachers find that their students are answering their own questions because they know the foundations of pronunciation and grammar.
What I like about Grammar Snaps is that it allows me to understand the rules of grammar in Italian, and also I can make a connection with the pronunciation and with the colors. It's a visual program.
When students make a mistake, they are equipped to analyze what went wrong and how to correct it. Using this method, a teacher simply needs to point to the appropriate grammar snaps chart when they hear or read an error. And when students actively correct their own mistakes, learning is deepened. In the words of Ben Franklin, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember, but involve me and I will learn." Go to or click on the rest of the site and discover more about this amazing paradigm-shifting approach to learning a new language. And then try it. See how easy learning Italian can be. It's really a snap. Grammar snaps.